Welcome everyone to my channel, Mending Tree Tarot. This is a pick a card tarot reading for the month of June. This can be used in conjunction with your astrology tarot reading for the month in order to give you further clarity. Each spread will give an overall energy and will then address love, career, and money. I've already shuffled and selected the cards for each pile to save time. I will also put timestamps below to make it easier for you to find your piles reading. So we have 3 piles today, each selected with stone towers basically to make it easier for you to choose. This is sunstone for pile 1. Give you a further look at it there. Pile 1. Pile 2, we have tourmaline. See if it'll focus. And pile 3 is moonstone. All right, I'm going to give you just a moment to choose. All right. We'll start with the readings. Hello, pile 1. This is your reading. You chose the sunstone. Set that off to the side here. All right, like I said, I've already selected the cards, so I will go ahead and move forward here. For your oracle cards, we have soulmates and building blocks. Now this is from Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. And then we also have from the Shaman's Dream Oracle, the Farther Gate, Bold Step Forward, and Unmarked Trail. Actually, I'll move them over because... All right, so with this, you want to pay close attention to the people who are coming into your life right now. So this is friends, this is any kind of relationship. Could be romantic as well, but you'll find that you're being drawn to certain people right now for a reason. So keep track of that, make note of that, be aware of these people because they are going to play a part in your life and are going to be important at this moment in time. With this, we have building blocks. So this is telling you that you have everything that you need right now in order to be successful. This is really paying attention to your foundations and building foundations where you need to, if you haven't had a strong one, but knowing that you have everything that you need in this moment, but really building strong foundations. The Farther Gate, Bold Step Forward. This is about your next experience. This is realizing that you need to leave old things behind at this moment and that there's opportunities coming forward they're coming to you that you need to realize, right? So being receptive and realizing what needs to be shed in order to make room for new things, because if you stay in the stagnant place, that's exactly where you'll be stagnant, and then you will not be, the opportunity will pass you by. So be careful of that. An Unmarked Trail, Revelation. This particular card is about carving out a new path. Sometimes we feel comfortable in the way that we have done things in the past or the way that others have done things in the past. And what this card is telling you is that you need to carve a different way, something that you need to go about things in a different way than you have before. And the reasoning is everything that you've done before, although comfortable, in the end does not give you satisfaction. It does not give you what it is that you're looking for. And ultimately, you're going to be just kind of killing time by doing the same things again, because you, in order to make further progress, have to choose a different way, is what this is telling you right here. So moving on to the love section, we have the Ten of Wands, Seven of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. And I'm using the Edgar Allan Poe tarot for this one because, it's fun and dramatic. So for this, the Ten of Wands in reverse, what you've been doing is that you've been releasing old feelings, and perhaps you have moved on from a previous relationship, that there has been an ending there. And then moving on to the Seven of Pentacles, you this is about you finding a new vision for what it is that you're looking for. So kind of what you're doing, letting go of old patterns, old kinds of relationships, maybe even old types of people that you have been attracted to previously, and really kind of redefining what kind of relationship it is that you want, and setting those boundaries and not taking in people who, that you see the red flags for what would not be a successful relationship for you. Somebody who's looking for something completely different than what you're looking for, you're not going to go down that road. You're going to have the boundary and say, no, that's it, right? That's what that card is saying. And then the Knight of Cups. This card is about, well, basically it's about romance and about proposals and things like that. I let you see the card a little bit better. Actually, I'll bring them all up so you can see them a little bit closer. I realize these are smaller. So for these cards, what you're doing is you've been making progress and letting go of old patterns and ways of doing things, really kind of redefining what it is that you want. And because of this, you're going to have success. So it looks like some new love might be coming your direction if you're looking for love, right? If you're looking for that in your life at this moment in time. Now, I do have one more card for this, and this is by the Island Time Wellness Love Oracle cards, and you guys got addiction. So this says codependent, obsession, possession, controlling, has a block, restraint. So this can be what you have been kind of dealing with in the past. Either that you have found yourself to be a kind of codependent person, and that you're learning to kind of let that go, or the opposite, that you've been attracting people in your life that are like clinging on to you and really are controlling of you, and not a healthy situation. So what you're doing, that this is what I think this Ten of Wands has to do with. This is you kind of redefining that you do not want this. This is no longer healthy for you. And this is, in essence, going to bring you what it is that you're looking for. So that's looking good. Moving on to career. For this, I have True Heart Intuitive Tarot. You have the Princess of Discs, so the Princess of Pentacles, if you will, and the Ace of Discs. Also, both really good. Both of these have to speak to new opportunities. So if you have not already in your career, if perhaps you have started a new job or a new position, or you're starting a new business, but whatever it is, it looks like you're kind of starting anew with whatever it is that you're doing, and this is going to be beneficial for you. So it looks like your career is working out really well right now, that it's moving in a positive direction for you. All right, and then moving on to finances, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse and Temperance. Here we go. So right now with finances, and I can kind of see why it's saying this. If you're not aware, for the good portion of June, we are in Mercury retrograde. And this is kind of a doozy, especially even for Mercury retrograde, because there's a lot of other things astrologically that are happening in the month. And so when you get into a Mercury retrograde place, finances can be a little tricky, especially with purchases and things like that. So what I'm kind of seeing here is more directive or warning for you. And I am not a financial advisor. I would say go speak to somebody for those kinds of things. But what the cards are saying here is that you're making plans for your finances. You're kind of daydreaming about what it is you would like to purchase, you would like to buy, what it is that you want to bring into your life, and or perhaps new ways of kind of creating that in your life. But what this is telling you to do is to be cautious, No rash decisions at this time, which makes sense for Mercury retrograde. It's kind of like doing your research here, making sure, perhaps even waiting till the end of June, beginning of July, to when you have all the information at that point, then making an actual, like, pulling the trigger. And so it looks like your finances are in a good spot, but mostly just to be cautious at this moment in time. No, not, don't do anything rash or crazy is I think what I'm picking up there. Move these up here. All right. So to end here, I did pull an advice card from the Santa Muerte Oracle. Beautiful deck if you've not seen it. Very, very colorful. And you got number 19. For this one, I am going to read from the book because it does give advice, which is really great. And so yours is memory. Okay, have you look at the card here. Memory is the capacity to conserve and recall information, emotions, and events by searching within our minds. It forms one of the bases of human knowledge and is fed by the sensory impressions left on us by what surrounds us, and will form the next material world of actions. Memory is also the function that allows us to recall our ancestors, the people we have loved that have left us, just like our past experiences. And the advice that they give is take advantage of the reserve of culture and experience that people that came before us have accumulated. So basically, get advice and learn from other people's mistakes and their successes is ultimately kind of what the advice is saying here. So listen to people around you, pay attention to people coming into your life, and seeing a new path for yourself is really kind of what it's saying at this moment in time. But financially, it looks like you're in a good place here. So, and also looks like good things on the horizon for love. So that's awesome. That is awesome. Okay. That I'm gonna call it at that. Pile 1. If you like what I do, I encourage you, please like, subscribe. If it resonated with you, please comment on that. I always love to hear things like that. Thank you for joining me today. I'm truly grateful. If you like what I do, again, like and subscribe. Down below, you should find a link for tips and donations if you choose to support the channel that way. It's not expected, but genuinely appreciated if you decide to do that. All right, thank you. Bye, Pile 1. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose the tourmaline here, and we will get started. Like I said, I've already pre-shuffled and all that, so you've got a few more cards than the first deck. So we have Thinker to start. Here, I'll show you up front. Thinker, By the Book. Both of those are in the reverse. And then you had To the Sea. Now these were the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. And then for the Shaman's Dream Oracle, you received Moon Maiden. Closing Door. And you got a third one. You got Many Masks. I don't know if you can see, it's a very light card. Okay. So for the Oracle cards, pretty simple. It kind of keeps talking about the same thing again and again. Be careful here for the Thinker that's in reverse. I'll let you see it in the upright there. But in reverse, this is, be careful, the phrase here is analysis paralysis. You've been taking too much time about thinking about something ultimately. So be careful about that. That now is kind of the time to, not necessarily, you're getting caught up in your mind instead of kind of being in the present moment, because at this moment in time for By the Book, again in the upright, This particular card is talking about that you have been doing everything. So this is calling for a change, almost a kind of revolt. So to challenge the structure, and that you need to make changes right now. So you've been, you know, that changes have needed to be made in this card, and this is, but you haven't been doing anything about it. And so the Oracle deck is kind of, sorry, it's kind of calling you out there. So then we have To the Sea. This is about being in the flow, right? Understanding that if you're in a receptive mode and you're ready to move forward, then kind of just allowing things to be, then things are going to come your direction. You are going to be like, opportunities are going to come your way, and you are going to be successful in this. So know that your inner world is a reflection of your outer world here. So if you're constantly worrying and all of that, then you're not allowing things to come to you. If you're ready for things to change, then change will come. So just, being kind of ready for new and different things instead of over analyzing the situation. So then we have the Moon Maiden. So this is new beginnings. This is, it kind of goes in relation with the other one, with Closing Door, which is completion. Both of these are talking about shedding of an old way of being, right? And even with the many masks, these three cards actually speak very well together. So you have a shedding of your old self. Stop pretending to be someone else or something else. That you need to understand that something is ending and other things are beginning. So you need to be true to yourself in the process. And the Many Masks, which is the Authentic Self card, is saying exactly that. Ultimately, listening to who and being true to who you are, and understanding that things need to come to an end in order to make way and space for new things here. So it's time. It seems like you've been in this old place where you've kind of been being what other people want you to be. And this is saying, okay, no, now you need to listen to your heart and be true to who you are. Stop overthinking things and know that change is basically in the air, and allow it to happen, because it's going to be for your benefit ultimately. Okay, so that's what the Oracle cards are saying. Moving on to the love portion here, we have the Two of Swords in the upright. I'll show you. Two of Swords, Four of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, and the Hermit. So it looks as though you've kind of, in love, have been weighing options, perhaps been wanting to kind of find balance in a situation. With the Two of Pentacles here. And also that you understand that this is going to create a change, or that a change is needed. Again, change is needed, highlighted by the moth that's up at the top there. But that you are, you're weighing your options right now. You're kind of in action, waiting point at this moment in time. And this is highlighted by the Four of Pentacles. You are kind of holding on to, you're kind of being in a restrained mode at this moment in time. And when it comes to love or relationships, and that you're kind of beating yourself and you're beating up yourself and having negative thoughts at this moment. So it looks like either you're in a relationship and you're not sure what to do about it, that you're not happy, but you're kind of holding on to it because that's what you've known at this moment in time. But at the same time, you know that a change is needed and you don't know what to do about it. Or if you're currently single, then this has to do with, could be the pandemic, absolutely, or that you have choices, that you have multiple people that you're kind of looking at and you don't know what to do. So instead, you're kind of holding on to what has been, and perhaps maybe wanting to return to the past, but you also know that you shouldn't do that. You know that that's not a good choice. You're kind of seeing that there's not really good options when it comes to going to the past, it looks like. So I know I haven't addressed this card, the Hermit card. So I'm going to say that this is more like your advice for this, that of what it's asking you to do is to kind of go within. Take time for yourself. The answers are going to be presented to you. Your options will become more clear, and to basically retreat at this moment in time, be more self-reflective, which is exactly what we're entering into a Mercury retrograde phase, which will take up almost the entire month of June. And that's what a lot of Mercury retrograde is about. It's about going within and kind of reflecting on what is working and what is not working for you. And so it's saying that if you do that, it will become clear, because then I have pulled a Island Time Wellness Love Oracle cards. This is also, the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot deck. But you got Engagement Ring, which is exciting. Okay, engagement, partnership, commitment, eternity, completion, union. So it looks like kind of at the end of this process that you either make a commitment to yourself about doing the right thing, or that if you're looking for a relationship, or that, if you're hoping that your relationship is going to move forward in a positive way towards engagement, that there can be a commitment that way, or that you're going to get into a relationship that is kind of going to go the distance, and whatever that commitment means to you, whether that means marriage or just long-term relationship. So good things there. Good things there. Okay, moving on to career. And for this, I have used the True Heart Intuitive Tarot deck, and you received the Chariot and the Six of Swords in reverse, as well as the Ten of Cups in reverse. So it seems here that you've been working really hard, and that in your workplace, or perhaps you don't have a job right now, that you've been looking for one, but ultimately you've been feeling unstable, that perhaps if you're in a job that you feel like you might be getting fired, or that there's a lot of kind of upset in your workplace at this moment in time, and that there's changes that kind of need to be made for you, or, well, things need to change ultimately, but that's what your whole reading is about, is that things need to change. And that's actually what this whole Mercury retrograde month of June is about too. So this is not surprising, I'm going to say. But ultimately, you have been putting in the work. You have been working very hard. And that things have been feeling unstable for you. And that this has been kind of a dysfunctional situation, ultimately. That has not been a good situation. So it looks like some changes probably on the forefront for your workplace, whether it's just that there's reorganization within the workplace for you. It's kind of, we're hitting a tipping point, and it looks like something needs to be addressed for that. All right, and then moving on into just money in general, looks like you've been feeling some real pressure financially. That you've been working, probably that's one of the reasons why you're working so hard over here, is that you've been feeling some financial pressure, and it's been keeping you up at night, just kind of worried about the finances. But you do get the Queen of Wands. So the good news here is that ultimately you need to show the world who you are, okay? And you will find success. It's suggesting that you collaborate with other people. Perhaps I'm going to take this as an extension of the career, more specifically for yours, but you can inspire people with your strength and your tenacity, your ability to work hard and to really get things done and to be motivated, and your inner strength shines through here and is your success financially. So you may be worried right now, but if you trust yourself, if you trust what you're capable of, it's going to work out for your benefit. Okay. And so then to end your reading, I have the Santa Muerte Oracle cards, and you received 2. You received number 28 as well as 32. And I will read from the book on these 2. So let's see here. 28 is action. Oh, that's surprising. I'm sorry, being funny. All right. It says, this extremely dynamic card pushes you to continue your actions, especially in the direction of a specific choice that you will see illuminated by the sun. You have obtained good results, but you must understand which direction to take them in. No work can become great, positive, and universal if one does not constantly act to bring it and spread it in the world. In case of a deadlock, it will be necessary to project oneself toward the future and understand where the present's problems come from, perhaps by reconsidering the actions of the past. And then the advice is, you have the necessary baggage on your shoulders to face the new adventure before you. Do not fear and proceed without giving the problems of the past too much importance. And then 32. This is Santa Muerte. We have come to the last card of the world of actions and the last card of this oracle, which concludes with a new beginning. Santa Muerte reminds us that all of the energy we have at our disposal is a loan we will have to pay back, and it is thus our responsibility to transform it in the most beautiful and positive way possible throughout our existence. This energy was present in the moment it allowed us to exist as we lay in our cribs after birth, and it lovingly holds our hand when we face a new staircase in the grave. Just as life generates death and death regenerates life, this card invites us to accept any change, transformation, or drastic severing of perspective with a smile. The advice here is, make a firm decision on what to cut and what to change in your life. Otherwise, no betterment will be possible. It seems pretty fitting for you, pile 2. Thank you. I'm going to leave it there. I really appreciate you joining me here today. I'm truly grateful. And if you like what I do, please like and subscribe. And if it resonated with you, please comment down below. I love to hear what you would have to say. If it resonates, it lets me know that I'm connecting with you. And also down below, if you would like, well, you should find a link that is for tips and donations if you choose to support the channel in that way. It is certainly not expected, but genuinely appreciated if you decide to. So thank you so much, pile 2, and I'll see you next time. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Moonstone. Let's get straight to it. Like I said, I already shuffled and selected the cards, so here we go. Your first card is Chaos and Conflict. And I used Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Ben Reed for this. That was in the reverse, and Yang in the reverse. I'm going to say you received actually quite a few Oracle cards. But, then you had Milk and Honey in the upright, and Chop Wood in the upright. You also received some of the Shaman Dreams Oracle deck. For that, you received Sky Dancers, Surrender, Cosmic Womb, the Divine Feminine, Empty well, time to replenish. All right. Like I said, you got quite a few there. Ultimately, though, the message is kind of saying the same thing. So with the chaos and conflict, you need to restore order and recognize the opportunity to negotiate a situation. So looks like things are kind of up in the air for you for this month, and that there is some chaos going on, but ultimately you can kind of seize your opportunity to kind of forge a path, to kind of see the direction that you need to go, and kind of talk to people, and what's the word I want to use, instead of just say negotiate again and again. Well, the Yang card in reverse kind of answers that. So let's use this. It's all about kind of diplomacy. It's about thinking before you act. So with these two cards together, there is some craziness that's happening at this moment in time. There may be a lot of change around you, either in your workplace or in your home life, whatever it may be. But ultimately, it's asking you to kind of see what it is that you need to do in order to make forward movement for yourself, but at the same time be cautious about the ways in which you're doing this. Really think through your actions, right? It's about being methodical at this moment in time. And with milk and honey, kind of the same thing. Every choice you make, it has potential to bring you really good things. So it kind of goes back and forth, needing to kind of see opportunities in a direction in which you need to go and take action, because it will work out for you. But then also with the chopping wood, it's the same message again, to remain humble and to put in the work and to be in the present and to really kind of at the same time be aggressive and to move forward, at the same time being receptive. So a very kind of balanced approach here is what we're kind of finding here. So then you have sky dancers. This is surrender. It's about listening to your heart and to observe the drama that's going on around you, and not necessarily participate in the drama. Instead, kind of take a overhead view, which will allow you to stay calm and to keep your balance through whatever it is that's going on around you this month. And then you have the cosmic wound, the divine feminine. This is not a gender specific reading at all. This is just about the energy, about being receptive. And so if you're able to, if you have been feeling stagnant at all, that's all about to change for you. There are new things that are about to kind of come your way. So, yeah, new things come in your direction as long as you can be balanced in your approach. And I think the only thing that is not in this alignment of taking action wisely, right, is the empty well. This is more kind of a lesson to, and this can be in the direction that you're supposed to move forward if this resonates with you. It will not resonate with everyone, but the empty well, time to replenish, is about when a relationship or situation is no longer serving you, and you ultimately you need to realize that the well is empty. Stop trying to get water from a well that's no longer giving you anything. If a situation is no longer reciprocal, there should be balance to it. You give to it and it gives to you. But if the only thing that's happening here is that if you're giving and it's not giving back in any way, then you need to stop trying to get it to give to you, because it's time to realize that that's not going to happen and to move on. So this can be probably the answer to what it is that you need, the chaos of something that's going on, something that you need to realize about the situation and what has to do with whatever action it is that you need to take. And it looks like it's a very complicated situation because there's a lot of moving pieces to it. There's a lot of things going on, but ultimately you need to be careful and considerate to the actions that you're taking, right? So not just go in like a bull in a china shop with the situation and be like, okay, bye, da, da, da. Don't do that. Instead, put yourself in somebody else's shoes and see where it is that they might kind of be coming from, and then move with that energy, kind of move with it instead of fighting against it, right? You have to move with it, but ultimately listen to what is giving back to you and what is not, also through this process. Okay, that's kind of a lot there. All right, moving on to love. So for this you have, and I use the Edgar Allan Poe tarot deck. I have the Nine of Swords and the World, as well as the Three of Swords in reverse. So I love this deck because the images are always so dramatic. So ultimately here, it looks as though you've had a lot of fear, but that you're moving on to a new beginning, or that there's a resolution. So if you are in a relationship, there's something that has happened. There's some kind of forward motion that needs to happen. It could be if you're in a relationship, it's not going well, and that's the thing that is, it's an empty well that you're going to, and this message is not going to resonate with everyone. Okay, it's not for everyone. I realize that, but it's something that's coming through for me to tell you. You've been doing a lot of worrying. You've been staying up at night, but ultimately this, you know that there's a new beginning that needs to happen and some healing that needs to happen. So either you need to realize that this person is not giving back to you and that they're never going to give back to you, or if you feel like it can be healed, then it can be healed. Either way, the end result here is that you are going to come to a resolution, that you're going to have some forgiveness and some healing, right? You're going to release the pain that you've been feeling. Or if it's that let's ignore that now. If you're in the situation where you've already gone through this breakup and you've really kind of been thinking about it again and again, going over in your mind, ultimately this new beginning is offering you healing, and it's a good place to be in, right? This is a good layout. If I'm going to have a Three of Swords in my reading, I want it to be upside down, because this means that the pain has already happened. There's not more pain coming your way. This is healing that's happening. This is forgiveness that's happening. So whether you're wanting to receive forgiveness, or whether or not you need to give it, which can be equally as healing, to be able to do that is a good thing, right? I went ahead and pulled a card for the Island Time Wellness Love Oracle deck for the love, and you guys got two, and you received wedding rings, which is union, wedding, married, soul connection, eternal love, everlasting promise, as well as the chaser and codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issues. So this could probably speak to different situations, and also realizing that an empty well, if this is speaking to your love life for you, to be careful of the person who is codependent, the person that is afraid to be alone, the person who's always around you, needing you. Now, if this is you healing a relationship, then it looks like it's going to turn out in a good place for you. So it looks like we have two different cards for two different outcomes here, depending on your situation, because we all know we don't all have the same love life, right? This is true. So if you're looking for love, then you are doing healing, and that you are working towards a good direction here, which is going to lead to a relationship that offers you, that can, go for the long run there. But to be careful of being or accepting someone that is codependent, right? Because that's not a healthy situation. You didn't go through all of this over here in order to just be in another toxic relationship again. You want to be in a healthy situation. And I think you know that, right? This is just, in that case, a warning. All right, moving on to your career. So for career, I used the True Heart Intuitive Tarot, and you received the King of Discs, which is looking pretty good, as well as the Seven of Swords. So ultimately, you're bossing up in your career, in your job, whether it's that you're starting a new business or something like that. But you are really building something very, very stable in your career at this moment in time, and you're in your power. You're kind of in your height of things at this moment. But be careful of deceit in people around you. So this can be people that you are working with, like a business partner. The thing that really kind of is standing out to me at this moment in time are the two foxes that are up at the top there. And so this can be your, like I said, a business partner, a co-worker, something like that. Somebody who seems friendly, but is not. They're kind of hiding something there from you. So be careful. So there's a little bit of a warning there. You are doing very well, it looks like, in your career, and are going to continue to do well. This is more just be careful of people's secrets, and know that in the month of June, with it being Mercury retrograde for the majority of the month, that also there's a lot of other things astrologically that are going on this month that is going to cause a lot of things that have been hidden to be revealed. So to know that, so don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if you find out that somebody has not been altogether very truthful with you in the past. Okay. Financially, we have the Seven of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. So it looks like you've been putting in a lot of work, which is why you've been so stable. You've been working hard. You've been cultivating your income at this moment in time. You've been watching what it is that you have, and because of this, you are starting to see change. You're right kind of on the brink of seeing some real growth from the hard work that you've put in. So if it's that you have started your own business, it looks as though you're starting to get to that point where you're starting to see the benefit, the positive income, no longer being in the red, starting to be in the black, and being able to really have some abundance come through. So you're kind of hitting that breaking point ultimately in your finances, which is great. It's your finances are looking awesome. So there's that. To end, I went ahead and pulled an oracle card from the Santa Muerte oracle deck. You received number 8. I'll show you that card, and I will read. This is going to be the only one I'm going to read from the book on, in order to give you a more clear picture. So this one is light. I'll read. The first world of emanations comes to an end with this card. This card represents the entrance point through which creation can manifest itself in the world. It encompasses potential and purity without limitations of shape, capable of illuminating and feeding anything it comes into contact with, like a sun, with generosity and vitality. And the advice is: a source of pure energy feeds and lights your journey. Proceed in your projects without hesitation. Any shadow will be dispelled. So it looks like you have no reason to worry. Just keep making that forward movement. All right. I'm going to leave it there, Pile 3. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm truly grateful. If you like what I do, please like and subscribe. If it resonated with you, please comment down below. I'd love to hear that. Also down below, you should find a link for tips and donations. If you choose to support the channel in that way, is not expected but genuinely appreciated if you decide to. Thank you so much, Pile 3, and I will see you next time.